What has left for us to have a complete MVC design pattern is to implement the controllers. We are done with the routing using Express Router. And for this one, we need to improve this code also. The responsibility of the Express Router is to take the request handler, and that is it. But as it stands right now, we are implementing the logics inside the router. So we are going to extract the request handler from the Express Router to the controllers, and that is it. So over here, I'm going to create one folder for post, and the file, I'm going to name it as post controller. And here we are going to create normal function, and then we'll go ahead and export it. So we're going to have the create post, and then list all post, and then get a post, and then delete, and then the update post. So we are going to cut the request handler from the Express Router, in this case this one. So let me show you how we are going to create it first, and then we'll go ahead and refactor this particular code. So here I will say const create post, which is equal to async await, and then we have access to the request response, and then the arrow function goes like that. And here we are going to interact with the model, which means that we are going to cut this handler from here and then use it on the post controller. So here I'm going to cut it, and I'm going to leave the endpoint only. So save it and now bring it here, and I'm going to assign to this as that. As you can see how we are refactoring the code. So here we need the post model and then the async handler package. So also we are going to cut this one from here, likewise the post also. So here I'm going to bring it up here as that. Let's make sure that the import for the post is correct, so let me re-import as that. So now let's try to make a request and let's see the error. I'm going to create the post, and then we got route not found. So now we have the controller here. How are we going to use it over here? We are going to export the controller down here as module.export, which is equal to create post. So inside the router, I'm going to require as post, and that is the create post, which is from the controller, and I'm going to use it here as a second argument to that. So now everything will be working fine. Let me go ahead and send the request, and for some reasons I got connection failed. So let's check our terminal, and we have this one, and that is async handler is not defined. Well, I think I have removed it, which is, let me see which file. I have it on the post router. Yeah, okay, so let me bring it back, and I will go ahead and then remove it. So copy this one and then bring it on the post router for the meantime, and let's try out. As you can see, it worked. When I fetch all post, it worked. So let's go ahead and then improve this controller. As you can see, we are creating the function here, and then we will go ahead and then export it as that. And remember, we are going to have multiple controllers. Because of that, I'm going to export the controllers as an object. So here is going to be as const, and I will say post controller, which is equal to an object. So here I'm going to provide key and then the value. The key here is going to be create post, and then colon, and then the value. The value here is going to be the callback function or my handler. So I'm going to cut this one from here and then assign to this. And that is it. So here we are going to have all the controllers, for example, fetching of all posts inside this object here, so that we can export the multiple controllers pretty easily. So now we have the create post. Let me collapse it and let me bring the comment here for the create post. And the next one is going to be the fetching. For the meantime, let's move step by step. So for this, I'm going to export the post controller, which is this. And now the import for this has changed. Therefore, I'm going to remove this one from here. Likewise, this one. And let's require the post controller. And let me bring it here, and on that we have the controller's logic, and that is create post. So with this one, if I save it, as you can see, everything remains the same. So let's go ahead and implement the rest. So this one is going to be fetching of our post. So I'm going to cut the handler from here, and inside here is going to be list of all posts, and let me bring it inside here as that, and I will say fetch all posts, and then I'm going to assign to that as that. And the next one is going to be, let me bring comma here, and it's going to be get post. So here I'm going to, this one is for get. I'm going to copy or cut the handler from here, and here I will say get post, and that is a single, and paste that and comma here. The next one is going to be update. So back here I'm going to copy or cut the handler from here, and back here I'm gonna use delete and then paste that. And lastly is for the update, so I will say update, and this is the update, cut the handler and then assign to this as that. All right, so I think I have to bring comma here, and that is it. So if I collapse, let me change the colors for the comment as that, and this one also as that, and lastly, or we have one down here as that. All right, so guys, let's go ahead and finish up. Now that we have the post controller, we have all the properties or the methods on that. So here I'm going to bring the, let me save it, and let me bring the post controller. This one is for getting all post, so here is going to be fetch all post. And this one is for update.update, and then this one is for get a single as get post, and lastly is for the delete, paste, and then dot delete. Remember, we have all the properties here. Cool, right? So if I save it now, let's see the differences. Everything remains the same. So as you can see, the responsibility of the express router is to take the request handler, and that is it. And the logics are inside the controller itself. So we can even improve this code a little bit. As you can see over here, we have some common base endpoint, and that is /API version 1, and the endpoint that differs. So we are going to select these guys from here. I'm going to select all instances, and I'm going to cut it. Now let's get back to the server file. This is where we have the mounting of the router. So I'm going to paste it here. Let me type it as API version 1 as that. So with this one, let's see if I try again. As you can see, everything is working fine. This is how we implement complete MVC design pattern. Let's continue in the next video.